Right, okay. Chalo, okay, we'll start the session, guys. Okay, so I'm going to share, I just started the VM. Let's connect to the server. Any questions, any doubts in the meantime? So how many of you tried installing SQL Server, SSMS installation?
Sir,
Till I'm pending that tracker, I have to create the tracker. Okay, so I'm going to create the tracker, guys. So it's important. Yes, anyone tried installing SQL Server? Anyone faced any challenges, guys?
Shanmukh.
Yes, Dinesh.
Okay, when you have said that when we log into the servers, when our work has to be when our work has completed, we have to be log off and come out from that so that our work will be completed, right?
Correct.
Log off. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
If someone has assigned some work to us, then you said that we just have to be disconnected and we have to connect so that the process will be running, right?
Correct. If any process is going on, okay, so in that scenario, you have to disconnect from the server instead of directly sign out or log out from the server. You are copying some files, you are running some scripts, they are still running, okay, but it take time to complete the execution. In that scenario, you have to disconnect. So whatever assigned work is completed, log off from the server.
Okay. If suppose I'm working in certain organization, so if my shift or my work is completed, I have log off, and some other person has joined.
Correct.
So if I have disconnected, same thing will be happened, and my work is completed. I can show that I have completed my work.
Yeah, nothing will happen to your work. Yeah, it's not like to show the work and all. The work will continue. No need to show your work to anyone. The work will continue. It won't be cancelled. Okay. So if the things are progressing, keep it as it is. I mean to say, disconnect the server. If your shift is going to end, if your shift is like started, 1 minute, just 1 minute. Yeah, so if your shift is going to end, so still work is there. I mean to say, still the things are going on in the server, disconnect. Okay, no need to show that I'm working, okay, on this something like just to make sure the things are not going to be cancelled. Okay, yeah, only for that reason we have to disconnect from the server. Okay,
sure.
So now it is clear.
Sir,
Right?
and clear. And another question: when we are creating instances, right after creating SQL servers, so we have created one default instance and another one is shared instances.
Correct.
So when you are creating some other instances by giving local or port number or something else, some other instances you are creating.
Correct.
So you also unchecked those and deleted those instances in the last class.
Deleted in the sense?
That means you have removed from Object Explorer.
See, that is disconnect. You cannot say deleted or removed.
Okay.
Disconnect button. Okay, connect and disconnect. You have to be careful. Yeah, while using the terminology. So same things you'll use in the entry also, it will create problem. Disconnect.
Disconnect.
Yeah.
Okay. Then how we will be reconnected to them?
Again, same connect button. Click, give the server name, and again you can connect. Okay. In the last session, we have connected multiple times, right?
Multiple times.
Connected, disconnected, connected, disconnected. You can do that many times. You can do that. There is no limit and all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Shanmukh.
Yeah. Hi, Ramesh.
Yeah, when I tried to connect the name instance, so I got an error like the certificate chain was issued and authority is not trusted.
Certificate issue.
Yeah, I just enabled that
trust. Yeah, trust certificate. Yes, you have to enable.
So what it is exactly?
See, the SSMS that you are using, maybe you downloaded a previous version of SSMS, something like that. So that SSMS is having an issue, the trust certificate issue. So only for that SSMS, you have to select the trust certificate. Okay, let me show you where we can do that. That is a SSMS issue. There is a bug in the SSMS. So previous version of SSMS. If it is the latest version, it's not a problem. Okay. So if it is a previous version of SSMS, there is a bug. So that was recovered in the latest release of SSMS. So you simply have to select means while connecting to the SQL server, it is going to check the certificates and all, whether certificate is valid or not. Okay. So if certificate is valid, then it will connect. But in normal SSMS, it will be a backend process. Okay. But in the SQL Server Management Studio, some version, I guess 19.0, 19.1, not sure in which version.
19.1.
Yeah, 19.1. So there is a bug in that. So it is unable to it is unable to read the certificate. So we have to explicitly select that option, trust certificate option. Okay. So that is not a problem. If you got any issues like that certificate issue, you have to click on options page and you have to select the trust certificate option so that it will be connected, guys. I'll show you. Don't worry, guys. Okay, Ramesh.
Yeah, I just enabled, so I'm able to connect, but I have it. What is it that?
Correct. There is an issue with the 19.1 SSMS. Okay, so 19.3 it was fixed automatically. You can see you can install many multiple SSMS, guys, in the single machine. So already if you are running with 19.1, you can still download the latest version is 19.3. Okay, you can still download 19.3 and you can install. You can use 19.3 also. Okay, any other questions, guys?
Yeah, Shinmukh, I have one question. I lost what you have said Monday. That one, while you are trying to connecting to power to this one, my laptop. Can you please repeat one?
Nothing. I'll repeat at the end of the session. Huh? So that is related to my personal health issue. So that's why I'm going to take maybe 1.5 hour sessions for these four classes for this weekend. I don't take 2.5 hours. I'll take 1.5 hour session for this weekend due to some personal health issues. I'll update you at the end of the session. Okay, people are going to join, right? I'll update you at the end of the session. Any other questions? Right. Okay. So while connecting, generally here, okay, if you are using maybe SSMS 19.1, something like that. Okay, so while connecting, you will get the error trust certificate issue. So for that, what you have to do, click on options space. You have to select this option, trust server certificate. Okay, once you select trust server certificate and click connect. For those who are getting that error, not for everyone, guys. Those who are using SSMS 19.0 or 19.1, while connecting to the server, they might get an error. Okay, trust server certificate error. If you go through the error description, you can see that. So for that, the solution is you have to simply select this option, trust server certificate, and then you can click connect, guys. Automatically, it will be connected. Okay.
Shanmukh, same version of SSMS can be installed twice.
No. Same version not possible. It will show you like already installed. Okay. Different versions
So
are possible.
19.3 can be installed only once.
Yes. 19.3 is already there. Right? That's what. If I am trying to install, it will show you repair option, repair uninstall option. Have you seen last time we have discussed it?
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Again, if you are opening same set of file, it will show you repair option or uninstall option. Okay. So same version, no need to install multiple times, and it won't allow you to install multiple times. But different versions you can install many times. Okay, no issues.
Yes, because for only named instance, it's asking to enable that.
The certificate. Okay. Maybe it will use the certificate or named instance. Default instance, it will use computer name, right? So by default, it don't create any problem. I hope you install default instance as well, right?
Yeah. The default, there is no issue. Only named instance. It's asking.
Okay. Someone pinged me for the same error. So you are the one or any other people? So have you pinged that error?
No.
Yeah, maybe someone pinged me that. For the same error, someone pinged me.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm just turning on all the services, guys. As I told you, the Windows machine that we are using is not a, uh, I mean to say, it's a free copy. The OS is a free copy, right? So the services will be down. So that's why I'm again starting all the services manually. And then I'll connect. Hmm. Right, okay. So in the last class, we discussed about the SQL Server installations, default installation we discussed, named instance we discussed, right? And we also discussed about the SSMS installation. Okay, we also discussed about the SSMS installation. And what else we discussed, guys? So how to open SSMS, discussion on SSMS, right? So how to install SSMS, what are the options are there in the SSMS Management Studio, right? SSMS again, it's a tool to connect to the running instances or SQL components like database engine, analysis services, integration services, reporting services. Like using this tool, we can connect to all the SQL components. And we have also discussed, okay, opening a query window and writing a query, checking the query whether it is right or wrong, any syntax errors are there, okay, and executing the query, how to execute a query, how to select the query, how to execute the query, where to see the output and all, okay. So we have discussed all these things in the previous sessions, okay. So in today's session, we'll discuss about the database architecture, okay. So how the things will be organized physically in the database, how the things will be organized logically in the database, okay. So we have to create the tables, right? So to create the tables, right? So right, SQL Server is used for storing the data, processing the data, retrieving the data. So where the data will be stored, guys, in the SQL Server, where the data will be stored in the form of
In tables.
tables, okay, in the form of tables. So where the tables will be created in the
Database.
databases. So the destination of the tables is database, guys. Okay, so first we have to create the database, then we have to create the tables, guys. Okay, chalo. So we'll discuss how to create a database, and while creating the database, we'll show you the files that will be created when you create any database, and we'll discuss about those files. What are the importance of those files? We'll discuss, guys. Okay, chalo. So now how to create a database, guys? So it's very simple. We can create database in two ways. First method is GUI. Second method is using
T-SQL.
query, right? T-SQL or query. Okay. I'll show you both. Okay. So now let me create the database in GUI. Okay. Right click, select the new database. Right. So when you choose this new database option, you are going to get one window like this. Okay. You are going to get one window like this, guys. In SQL Server, we can achieve everything using query, but GUI having some limitations. Not all the things we can achieve using GUI, guys. Okay. But all the things we can achieve query. Why? Because it will understand only query. But what GUI will do, guys? What GUI will do? This GUI window will convert our actions into query, right? This GUI window will convert our actions, whatever our actions are there. I want to create a database. I'll give some values and I'll click OK. Once I clicked on OK, whatever values we have selected, based on the values we have selected, it will create a query. That query will run in the backend, guys. Okay, so why? Because SQL Server don't understand GUI, but we don't know the queries for everything, right? It will be difficult to remember all the queries. So we have GUI option. This GUI will convert our actions into query, guys. That query will run at the end of the day. Clear? So now, if you are creating a database, you have to give the name of the database, right? Okay. So let's give the name of the database. Now check carefully. Check carefully. If you see here, you don't see any names, right? I'll tell you what is logical name and all. So I'm going to type one database. So tell me guys any application name. I'll give it as a database name. Any good application name that we are using regularly.
Shopify.
What is that?
Shopify.
Shopify. Okay, very good. Shop. See here. Here you see how it is changing. Shopify. Okay, right. So this is one application, Shopify. So Shopify application related data will be stored in the Shopify database. So now, if you see in SQL Server, every object will have owners, guys. Okay, every object. And again, in SQL Server, everything will call it as an object only. In SQL Server, we'll call everything as an object only. Databases are objects. Tables are objects. Okay. Logins are objects. Like every component, we'll call it as a common terminology called object. Because we'll call databases, tables, logins. But the general word is object. So every object will have object owner, guys. Every object will have object owner. Okay. So if you see here, it is showing default. What it means? What is the meaning of default? So default means the person who is creating the database, he is going to become an owner of this database, guys. Okay. The person who is creating the database, if you don't mention any owner, you can mention the owner, you can give the owner name. Okay. You can give any owner name. I'll tell you guys. Okay. You can give your name. You can give company CEO name. You can give company receptionist name also. No issues. But those are should be part of this logins list. Okay. This logins list. Those who are there in this list. Again, I'm saying logins means who can log in into this SQL server. Not everyone. Not everyone can connect to this SQL server. Those who are present in this list, only these people can connect to the SQL server. So now tell me guys, which account I am using out of all these accounts. I just log into the SQL server, right, using some account. So which account I use it to connect to this SQL server?
Please expand Object Explorer.
Administrator.
So expand Object
Windows.
Explorer like this.
Administrator, Windows authentication.
Administrator.
Correct. Now,
Win administrator.
correct. So if you see here, this is called login name. After bill number, one hyphen will start. After that, login name will show you guys. This is called your login name. So if you see here, this login is present, right? As this login is present in this list, then only I am able to connect to the server. I means who? Administrator. As administrator login is present, have you remembered during the installation of SQL Server, we have selected one option. Anyone remember that option? Authentication screen, we have selected one option.
Add current user.
Very
Add
good.
user current.
Very good. Add current user will create an account for the person who is installing the SQL Server in the SQL Server, guys. Okay. So as this account is present, I am able to connect. If someone deleted this account, this guy cannot connect to the SQL Server. Again, someone has to give access to him to connect to the SQL Server, right? So the persons, those who are there in this, so I can create a login for you. I can create login for Benaya. I can create login for Doris, Dinesh, Joel, Lalita, Namrata. I can create logins for everyone in this list. The people, those who are present in this list can be act as a database owners. Okay, right? So if you don't give any owner at this moment, it will take default owner. Default owner, what is the meaning of default owner, guys?
Who is creating the
Correct.
database?
Now, can you tell me who is
Administrator.
creating this database? Now, who is creating this database? Can anyone tell me?
Administrator.
Administrator. Why? Because I connected to the administrator. I connected to the SQL server using administrator login. So now, if I don't change this, the owner will be administrator. Okay. I'll show you. Let it be. I'm not going to change it. Generally, here I'll keep it as SA. SA means see here. The person who is there in this list, He's called, we can make these people as owners of the databases, owners of the jobs. Okay. So I can give SA also. Generally, the recommended practice is we have to give SA. Okay. But I don't give it now. You have to know, right, whether we can change the owner after creation of the object. You should know, right? If we can change, how to change the owner of the object, I'll show you in the next, I mean to say, next discussion. Okay. So we can still change the owner. Now, if you don't give any name, it will take administrator as the owner of the database. But can we change that default owner after the creation of the object? Yes, we can change it. How to change it, I'll show you. Okay. Right. So this is your owner discussion. But who is the recommended person to be the owner of the objects, guys? Who will be the recommended person?
SA.
SA. SA is the permanent login. So for all the objects, we'll keep SA as the owner of the database or owner of the job, like that. Okay. Why we don't keep individual persons? Because today
They can be removed.
today Namrata is working as a SQL DB in the organization. Doris is working as a SQL DB in the organization. They might get good opportunities in another company. They left the company, so Namrata account will be deleted. Doris account will be deleted. So that's why it's not recommended practice to give personal accounts here as owners. If the owner account is deleted, the database won't work properly, guys. Clear? So that's why instead of that, we'll give a permanent login, which is SA login. SA is the permanent login in the SQL server. We cannot delete this SA login. Okay, so that's why we'll give SA login as the owner of the objects in the organization, guys. Clear, everyone? Right. Now you can see here, whenever you create any database, listen carefully. Whenever you create any database, by default, two files will be created. Okay, by default, how many files will be created, guys? Two files will be created. Database is a collection of two files. Again, I'm saying database is a collection of two files. One is data file. Second one is log file. Okay. One is data file. Second one is log file. So we'll discuss what data file will do, what a log file will do. Okay. So you should know, right, the importance of data file and log file. Right. So before discussing this, we should know the architecture, the hierarchy of the database or SQL server, how the things will be stored in the SQL server, how the things will be stored in the SQL server. So physical hierarchy, okay, and you should know the logical hierarchy. Guys, don't worry, okay? This is like physical structure of the database, logical structure of the database, nothing. So hierarchies in the sense like a kind of organization, how it is going to organize the things, how physically it will organize, how logically it will organize the things. Okay, so don't worry. Very simple word called hierarchy means how the things are going to be organized physically, how the things are going to be organized logically. You should know this. Okay. So in the SQL server, we will have databases. Okay. If you go inside the database, we will have what is that? File groups. We'll have file groups. I'll show you the picture. Don't worry. If you go inside the file groups, we will have files. Okay. We will have files. Files means data files. If you go inside the file groups, we'll have files and okay. In the databases, let me show you like this. In the databases, we'll have file groups plus log file. Okay, log files. So if you go inside the file groups, we will have files, file groups, group of files. So if you go inside the file groups, we will have files. Files are nothing but data files. If you go inside the data files, we will have extents. Okay, extents. If you go inside the extents, we will have pages. We will have pages. Let me show you the diagram so that you will get a better idea. Okay, let me show you the diagram. Sorry. What's that word? Okay. So if you see here, color combination, okay, right. The same thing, whatever we discussed. Okay, imagine this is the whole box SQL Server. This this orange is a whole box of SQL Server. So instance is nothing but okay, one SQL Server software copy. So if you go inside the SQL Server instance, you can see databases are there. Okay, databases. If you go inside the databases, you can see file groups and log files. You can see file groups and log files. If you go inside the file groups, if you go inside the file groups, we have data files. We have two types of data files. One is primary data file, which is MDF master data file. Second one is secondary data file, which is NDF next data file or new data file. So if you go inside the data file, you will have extents. So what is this, guys? Extents. If you go inside the data files, you can see extents. Extent is actually a collection of 8 pages. Okay. If you go inside the extent, you can see the pages. You can see the pages. 8 pages you can see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Total 8 pages will be there. Each page size is each page size is 8 KB. So in the instances we will have databases. In the databases we'll have file groups and log files. Log file doesn't belong to any file group, guys. Okay, log file architecture is different. Data file architecture. I told you, right? When you create a database, by default, how many files will be created, guys?
Two.
Two. So what are those two files? Data files and log file. Okay, by default, we cannot create any database without these two files. That's for sure. We cannot create any database without these two files. By default, it will create two files. One is data file, second one is log file. To create the data file. So data files, where it will exist, guys? Where the data files will exist?
So Sanuk, they both are primary.
Both are primary only. So where the data files will exist, guys? Where the data files will exist? If you want to create a data file, what should be there?
Page.
File groups.
File groups should be there. Files will exist in the file groups only. They cannot exist alone. Okay. If you want to create a data file or while creating a database, it will create a data file, right? So in that situation, to create a data file, we should have file group. So it will also create a file group, guys. Are you getting the point? Is it clear, everyone? Data files can't exist alone. They should be existed in the file group only. So when you are creating a database, it will create a default file group also. That is called primary file group. Is it clear, everyone? Everyone.
Sir.
Yes.
Right? So whenever you are creating a database, it will create a data file and a log file. It will create one file of data file and one file of log file, guys. Okay? One data file, one log file. But data file won't exist, right, without file group. So it will create file group also. Dependency is there. For data files, there is a dependency that is file group. So file group also it will create. Okay? So in the data file, if you go, you can see extents. And if you go inside the extents, you can see pages. So What is page, guys? Page is a basic storage unit of a
Data.
SQL server. Again, I'm saying page is a basic storage unit, means whenever you are creating any table, the tables will exist at the end of the day. The tables will be created on
Page.
pages, guys. Pages. Tables physically will be stored in the pages. Pages will be existed in the extents. Extents will be existed in the data files. Data files will be existed in the file groups. File groups will be existed in the database. This is how the things will be organized physically. Any questions, doubts, guys, please? Questions, doubts here? Again, in the SQL Server, we'll have databases. In the databases, we'll have file groups and log files. In the file groups, we'll have data files. In the data files, we'll have extents. In the extents, we'll have pages. Okay? Pages, guys.
Sir,
Yes, please.
does file groups only contains that two kind of files like
Correct.
.mdf and .ndf?
Correct, yes.
Okay, sir.
They don't contain LDF files. LDF files, I mean to say log files, is not part of the file group. I'll show you. Okay, log files is not part of any file group. Log file architecture is different. Data file architecture is different.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So guys, is it clear, everyone? So whenever you create a database, how many files will be created by default? How many files will be created by default? Two. What are those two files?
Data file and log file.
Very good. Data files will be existed in the file groups. Okay. So inside the data files, we will have extents. Inside the extents, we will have pages. So what is page, guys? What is a page? Page is a
storage unit of
Storage unit of SQL Server.
correct. Okay. Page is a basic
Basic storage.
storage unit of SQL Server. What is the page size? In the interest, they will ask you.
8 KB.
What
8
is the
KB.
size of the page? 8 KB. Can we change the size of the page? Is it
No.
possible?
No.
The page size is fixed, guys. You cannot increase or decrease the page size. Okay. The 8 KB page is fixed. So whenever you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate
8 KB page.
right. Okay. 8 KB page. Is it clear, guys? So at the end of the day, your table will be stored in the page, guys. So Shanmukh, if my table is big, what it will do? If my table is very big, initially SQL Server will allocate an 8 KB page for you guys.
It will be divided into 8 pages.
Correct. So if it is not sufficient, if you are keep on inserting the data, SQL Server will allocate one more 8 KB page. Like that, depends on the data, it will keep growing, guys. Okay, so like that, if you are keep on inserting, no issues. It will keep on growing, guys. Clear? From where it will allocate? From where it will allocate? From your drive. From your drive, it will allocate. Are you getting the point, guys? In which drive you are creating this database? In which drive the files are going to be created? From that drive onwards, it is going to take the 8 KB space. Imagine if you are creating database in the E drive, means files, database related files you are storing in E drive. It is going to, the SQL Server will allocate 8 KB from E drive and it will allocate to SQL Server database. Is it clear, guys? Imagine I am having a 10 GB free space in this drive. Imagine I'm having 10 GB free space in the E drive. So if you are keep on inserting the data, what I said, guys, 8 KB, 8 KB, 8 KB will add, right? Right? So 8 like that, we keep 8 KB, 10 GB minus 8 KB, right? 10 GB minus 8 more KB, minus 8 more KB. Like that, it will keep on allocating the space from your drive. Right, so that's why the space will decrease. At one point the 10 GB will become 1 GB, or the whole drive is going to be full. Is it clear, guys, why the data file is going to be full? Everyone, why the data file or why the log file is going to be full? Is it clear? Why? Because it is going to allocate some space to your data. So it will be consumed, the free space will be consumed. So at one point, the whole free space will be consumed and then the drive is going to be full. So as a DBS, we have to fix that issue. If the drive is full, if there is no room to enter the data, the application will be down. Someone is purchasing one thing, so he's giving his values, his inputs. If there is no space in the data drive, if there is no space in the database, how can he enter the data, guys? Are you getting the point? So he's going to get the error. Is it clear, everyone? Okay, so the page size,
Yes.
SQL Server
Question.
will... Yes, please.
At that time, what we have to do if the drive
I'll tell
is
you,
be
I'll tell
full?
you, I'll tell you, I'll tell you. Okay, so that will
Okay.
be not now, will be discussed at the end of the sessions. Okay, so we'll
Okay.
discuss the SQL Server components. At the end of the sessions, I'll discuss what is like how shrinking of the files. We have to actually shrink the files. So what is
Okay.
shrinking, how it will work, how it will be organized, will be discussed. Okay, don't worry. Guys, is it clear, everyone? Please,
Questions.
everyone.
Yes.
Right? So this is how the things will be organized. So if you see here, so every time, whenever you are creating any table, SQL Server will allocate a page for you. If that page is not sufficient, SQL Server will keep allocating successive pages. The SQL Server will keep allocating successive pages, will give it for you. Okay, so now my question is, can I create multiple tables on a single page?
No.
So, is the page shareable, guys, between the tables? Is the
No.
page shareable between
No.
the tables? Means 8 KB page is there. So I just created very small table which is 100 KB. Not 100 KB, 1 KB. Imagine 1 KB table I have created. Still 7 more KB free space is there in this page. So can the SQL Server allocate the same page to other object?
No. No.
So one more table can be created on the same page? The answer is no, guys. Page is not shareable. Page is not shareable. Again, I'm saying page is not shareable. Okay. So if you are trying to create one more table, SQL Server will allocate one more page for you. Are you getting the point, guys? Whenever you are creating any table, SQL Server will allocate a page for you. So if that page is not sufficient, SQL Server will give one more page for the same table. But if you are creating second table, SQL Server will allocate another page for you. Even though you are not using 100% of the page, even though there is a free space in that page, still page is not shareable, guys. Again, page is not at all shareable. Clear, everyone? Page is not at all shareable. So one table will be created on minimum one page. If the table is growing, the pages, one table can be created on multiple pages. Don't confuse here. One table can be created on multiple pages. True or false? Why? Because
Yes.
if
Yes.
one page is not sufficient, SQL Server will keep allocating another page. But can we create multiple tables on a single page?
No.
Not possible. Okay. So this is how it will be. Yes, Rishikesh, please.
Sir, means we consider 8 KB page we have and only 1 KB table we have created. Then what about 7 KB that is wasted, sir?
That is wasted. That is wasted. Maybe in future, today you created a table, tomorrow you might insert some records, right? So that 1 KB, that whatever leftover space is there will be used to insert the records until that 7 KB is going to be full. Once the 7 KB is also full, then it will allocate one more page for you. If you don't insert, so that how it is doing like that means it is minimizing the wastage of the storage. Right, instead of allocating 1 GB, 2 GB, if you give 8 KB, Shanmukh, why the size is 8 KB? So you are saying the page size is 8 KB. Why can't you give 1 GB? Are you getting the point, guys? If you give 1 GB, what will happen? What will happen? Imagine employee table is created on created on something like 5 pages. Imagine something like 5 pages. So when you are running a statement, select query, select star from employee, all the 5 pages will be loaded into the memory. Okay, all the 5 pages will be loaded into the memory. Memory means RAM. From there onwards, you are able to read the data. Imagine if each page size is 1 GB instead of 8 KB, 1 GB you gave. Okay, so there are two problems. Page size is very big, so it will take lot of time to load into the memory. That is one challenge. Second challenge, if you are not using the table, if you are not inserting any records into the table, you are going to waste 1 GB space, right? Correct, guys? You are going to waste 1 GB space. So space is very important in the organization. You have to spend lot of dollars on the space storage, guys. If someone comes to you, if the drive is full, they don't immediately give you the space. They will ask you a lot of approvals they have to take. Why? Because storage is very costly in the organization. So you cannot waste any storage, guys. So that's why logically they gave the size as 8 KB. So to not to waste the storage, and if the pages are small in size, they can load into the memory quickly, so the performance and all will be improved. So that's why the page size is small, which is 8 KB, guys. Is it clear? Yes, sir. Sai, please.
Chetnama?
You can turn off the video, Sai. Tell me, Sai.
So if we create the table more than 8 KB, it will go to the next page or?
Correct, correct. If you create any table more than 8 KB, one more page will be allocated, depends upon the size of your table. It will keep adding the pages to your table.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Shanmugh, so
Yes,
let's
please.
imagine we have 100 pages in a table. So if any user running any select query, so maybe the data is existed in 100th page.
Yes,
So it on every page.
No, no, sir. No, 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 no. It depends. Why? Because the performance tuning will be discussed. I hope you know the indexes, right, Ramesh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Based on the indexes, it is going to pull the particular page into the memory, not all 100 pages. Like you're an Oracle DBA, right? Ramesh? SQL, your SQL DB. Okay, one more Oracle DBA there in our class. Okay, so it's not going to work like that. It's not going to load all the 100 pages. We have to create the indexes. So indexes will help you. Okay, so to identify the particular page. Okay, we'll discuss in the performance tuning classes. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Guys, any questions as of now? Right. So now Shanmugh, okay, pages we are good, but why extent we have? So instead of giving 8 KB, 8 KB, 8 KB, what Microsoft did is it just created a group of 8 pages. Okay. So instead of giving 8 single page, do one thing. I'll create a group of 8 pages that is called extent. Okay. So we'll give extent to you while creating any new table. What it will do, I'll tell you guys. While creating a new table, it's actually give a page from the extent. Okay, it's actually give a page from the extent. So, but why we need extent? Why we need extent, guys? So here, extent is nothing but a group of 8 continuous data pages. Group of 8 continuous data pages. So what is the definition of a page? Page is a basic storage unit. On each page, we can create minimum one table. Okay, means not minimum one table, only one table we can create. If that page is not sufficient, SQL Server will allocate one more page. That's what we discussed, right? So how extents will come into the picture? Extent is basic allocation unit. One is basic storage unit. One is basic allocation unit. Okay. One is basic storage unit. One is basic allocation unit. And extent is also nothing but collection of 8 data pages. So now you know that you are creating very big table and you are inserting lot of data. So what SQL Server will do, instead of giving one page, it will give an extent for you. 8 pages it will give at a time. 8 pages it will give at a time. Are you getting the point, guys? Basic allocation unit, basic storage unit. The tables will be stored in the pages. SQL Server will allocate pages. That's true. There is no doubt in that. That statement is true, completely true. But From where it will allocate? From where it will allocate the pages, guys? From the extent. So extent is a basic allocation unit. We have two types of extents, mixed extent and uniform extent. Okay, mixed extent and uniform extent. So mixed extent means all the 8 pages belongs to 8 different objects, like 8 different tables. Okay, all the 8 pages belongs to 80 different pages. Uniform extents, you can tell me the definition, guys. All the 8 pages belongs to
Same object.
Single object or same object. Okay, single object. So again, I'll repeat, guys. Don't confuse here. Whenever you are creating a table, SQL Server will allocate a page for you. That's for sure. But from which extent it will allocate? Guess it, guys. What is the best option we have here? Guess it and let me know. The main object is it won't waste the storage. So in which scenario it don't waste the storage? In mixed extent or in uniform extent?
Mixed extent.
Mixed.
Mixed extent. Why? Because mixed extent means you can give all 8 pages to 8 different objects. Right?
So whenever
correct. So if the table is not expanding, it will be limited with 1 page. So you are going to waste only 1 page here. If you give mixed extent, the least possible chance is only 1 page you are going to waste if the table is not growing, if the table is not expanding, if no one is inserting the data in the table, only 1 page you are going to waste. But if you allocate the whole uniform extent, all the 8 pages will be allocated to a single object. So if you are not using, you are going to waste 8 pages, right? Are you getting the point? So wasting 1 page is good or wasting 8 pages is good, guys? 1 page. So that's why whenever you are creating a table for the first time, SQL Server will allocate 1 page from the mixed extent. If that is not sufficient, then chalo bhai, I can't give you one page every time. It's a headache for me. So a lot of other files are also there to manage. So chalo, we'll do one thing. Chalo, take this 64 KB or take this extent, uniform extent. Take this uniform extent for further, okay, growth and all. For further growth, take the uniform extent.
So it will be changed every time we have to change, or we have to allocate?
No. We don't do anything. Everything will be managed by SQL Server. Guys, nothing to worry. Try to understand the internals. That's it. To understand the internals so that you can troubleshoot in a better way. That is the only reason. Here, as a DBA, nothing we will do. We don't give any mixed extent. We don't give any uniform extent. We don't select anything. SQL Server internally it will organize all these things. You don't worry, guys. Okay, internally that is the intelligent system. SQL Server will knows that. Okay, first we'll give 1 page to not to waste the storage.
By analyzing the data requirement.
Yes. When the developer is giving the create statement, it can easily analyze, right? How many pages it needs, what they are going to do and all. So based on that, it will allocate the pages, extents and all. So you don't worry, guys. This is just to understand the internals. Clear?
Sir, just that 8 KB memory also specifically allocated by it also.
Not memory. Okay, memory is different. Storage is different. In the IT, memory refers to RAM. You don't give 8 KB RAM, 8 KB RAM. Why? Because RAM is very limited. Storage it will allocate 8 KB storage. Okay. Yes, Dinesh. Tell me now.
That 8 KB storage also allocated by the system only.
Correct. That everything will be done from SQL Server only. We don't do anything.
Because we particularly didn't know that we are giving only 8 KB. No,
correct. So we don't know. We cannot manage all these things. So internally it will allocate. From the beginning onwards, it will only allocate. So when you are trying to create a table, from that point itself, it will allocate the things like this. Okay, you don't worry. No need to give anywhere. No need to select anything. Okay, no need to select.
Particularly that storage setup will be done by
SQL Server
internally.
Yes, Doris, please. Doris, your voice is not clear, Doris.
I'm sorry. How about now?
Now, yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. Yes, I am trying to understand this 8 KB very well. And this is where my concern comes in. If we are creating a table, and if by default it comes with 8 KB, can we increase it, and to what extent, or what is the mass we can increase, or how does that affect our table?
All right, very good question. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Will be discussed.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Are we good, guys? In SQL Server, we'll have databases. In databases, we'll have file groups and log files. In file groups, we'll have data files. In data files, we'll have extents. In extents, we'll have pages. Page is a basic storage unit. Page size is 8 KB. We cannot change the page size. Next comes to extent. Extent is a basic allocation unit. Extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. So what is the size of the extent, guys?
64 KB.
8 into 8. Collection of 8 data pages is an extent. Collection of 8 data pages is an extent. Okay. So 8 into 8 KB, which is 64 KB. So SQL Server, okay, will allocate 64 KB in case if the table is big, automatically it will allocate. Okay. So we have two types
what
of
is that?
Yes, please.
.mdf and
I'll tell you. Okay. So in the extents, we have two types of extents. One is uniform extent, second one is mixed extent. So mixed extent means all the 8 pages belongs to a different objects, mixed. Okay. Uniform extent means if you see here, mixed extent, you can see here. Let me open this in a different window. See here. Right? So if you see mixed extent, one page table 2, one page for index. Index is also an object. Okay. Another page for index. One more page, table 2, table 3, table 2, table 3. So it will give to table 2, table 3, different objects also. If you see here, uniform extents, table 1, table 1, table 1, table 1, table 1, table 1, table 1. So it don't allocate the same extent to different objects. Okay. I mean to say the pages that are there in the uniform extents. So they are going to hold only one table. Okay. So that is your particular table, whatever employee or student or whatever table that you are creating. So why they are designed like this? To save the storage. Okay. And for performance related also, they designed the system like this. This is called physical architecture of the database, physical hierarchy of the database. Okay. So mixed extent is nothing but a collection of 8 data pages. I'm sorry. Extent is nothing but collection of 8 data pages. Okay. And it's a basic allocation unit. Okay. And extent size is 64 KB. Not every interviewer, guys, but some interviewers will ask these questions. What is page? What is extent? How many types of extents are there? What is mixed extent? What is uniform extent? They are going to ask the questions like this. Okay. Yes, please, Rishikesh.
Sir, what if, sir, whole 64 KB,
No,
whole 8 pages contains only one table, sir?
Okay.
What we can say that it contain means it should be in mixed content or in uniform extent.
See, why mixed content? Why mixed extent? Tell me. If all 8 pages belongs to one table, means what extent it is?
It should be in uniform, sir.
Mixed means what? Collection of different objects. Uniform means what? Only one object. So all 8 pages are allocated to the same object. Then again, why it comes under mixed extent? Then why we will have uniform extent? What is the case of uniform extent? There is no meaning of uniform, right, in that scenario. So if all pages belongs to one object, that is uniform. All pages belongs to different objects, that will be mixed extent.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Guys, are we good? Any questions, please? Don't worry, guys.
One thing.
Yes, please, Rishan.
This is as per the requirement that whether a table is required one page, so it will give from mixed extent.
Correct.
But if the pages are required more than 64 KB, so it will execute as an extent.
Uniform extent, yes. Yeah. See, once that extent is full, Shanmukh, all the 8 pages will be full. Now what is the next case? What is the next case, guys? It will allocate one more extent for you, one more uniform extent. If the table is still growing, so it will check what kind of insert queries you are running. So, okay, chalo, let's allocate one uniform extent. Okay.
Depends
So
on the data.
yeah, for this employee table, one uniform extent is full. Chalo, allocate one more uniform extent, 64 KB plus 64 KB plus 64 KB plus 64 KB, like that. In which drive you are creating these files, from that drive onwards, it will allocate 64 KB, 64 KB. So like that, it will keep on consuming the free space in the drive. So at one point, the drive is going to be full. Okay, so I'll tell you how to manage the things. Okay, if the drive is full. Clear, guys? Are we good till now?
Shanmukh, actually, can you explain me with the employee table like that?
Deepu.
Yeah.
So the same thing, whatever the things are discussed, the same thing. Explain me with employee table means when you are creating, I actually explained with employee table only. When you are creating an employee table, if the employee table is small, initially it will allocate a page from the fixed extent. If the employee table is growing, then it will keep allocating uniform extents for the same employee table.
So same table can have both mixed extent and uniform.
Yes, can have. First one page can be from mixed extent, subsequent pages can be uniform extents.
Yeah,
yes,
that is
that is possible. Yes, that is possible. That is possible. That is possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
In the case of large tables, it will go for the uniform extents.
Uniform extents. So there is no other way. It should go for uniform extents only.
Yeah. In the case of small tables,
yes.
it will go
yes.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So simple way is if it is small table, it will go for mixed extent. If it is big table, it will go for uniform extent.
Shanmukh, one more thing. If a table is large, so can it have the combination that it will have pages from both as per the requirement from mixed extent?
It can have. Just now we discussed it. It can have.
Okay.
It can have. Okay. Chalo, guys. Is it clear? Pages, extents. Are we good, guys? Now.
Yes.
Okay. So these extents will be there in which file? These extents will be created in
data files.
Data files. Data files. Only data files. Log file organization is different, guys. Okay. Only data files. So these data files will be created in the file groups. So data files can't exist alone. So that's why there is a concept called file group concept. File group means group of files. File group of files. So how many types of files we have? We have actually two types of files. One is data file and log file. If you go inside the data file, again, we have two more types. One is MDF file. Second one is NDF file. See, guys, functionality wise, both are same. There is no big difference between MDF and NDF. But when you create a database for the first time, it will give you one MDF file. Okay, it will give you one MDF file, one master data file. MDF means master data file. This file you can create in any of the storage, any of the drives. If that drive is full, if that particular drive is full, what we can do? We can extend the drive. If there is no chance of extending the drive, see, there are some limitations to extend the drive, like the drive sizes can be up to 2 terabytes. So Shanmukh, can't we create a database more than 2 terabytes? Nothing like that. We can still create. But what is the possible case? The data file will be full, right? The drive is full. So I'll create one more second data file in another drive. Second data file in another drive. Okay. So if that is also full, again, I'll add one more data file. If that is also full, I again add one more data file. I'll keep on adding the files. Like that, how many files I can create, guys, in the SQL Server? Any idea?
Oh.
32.
Correct.
760.
In SQL Server, there is a magic number called 32,767. Remember this carefully. 32,767 is a magic number. We can create 32,767 databases, guys, maximum. We can create 32,767 file groups, guys, maximum in one database. We can create 32,767 files. We can create 32,767 logins. We can create 32,767 users. Okay. So this magic number, if anyone is asking how many databases we can create in SQL Server, 32,767. How many file groups it will support, 32,767. How many files we can add, the data files and log files also fine. So 32,767. How many logins we can create, 32,767. How many users we can create, 32,767. How many sessions we can open, 32,767. This is a magic number, guys. Most of the cases you can tell 32,767. So now let's come back to the server. You will get an idea now. You will get a clear idea now. Now you are creating a data file, right? Database you are creating. I said one data file will be created. Okay, if you expand the file type, you can see here. Rows data means what is that file, guys? Data file. I told you, right? When you create a database, two files will be created. One is data file, second one is log file. So now if you see here, data file is going to create. Okay, right? And one more file you can see here. Shanmukh, how to identify which one is data file, which one is log file? Data file doesn't have any underscore kind of thing. Log file will have underscore log. Okay, so the type of file is log file. Now I told you, right? Files cannot exist manually. To create the files, what we should have? What is the minimum requirement to create the file? Data file. To create the data file, what is the minimum requirement? You can see the diagram and you can tell me.
It extends.
No. Dependency.
64.
File groups.
File group. Where the files will be created. File group, right? Without file group, can I create the file? No, right? So if you see here, file group, so primary file group, by default, when you create a database, primary file group will be created. What is meant by primary, guys? It's a file group name. Okay, so primary file group will be created. So to make sure this data file will exist in the file group, primary file group will be created. So you are giving one file, guys. It is creating one file. Every file will have a size, right? Minimum or maximum. At least while creating, you will have a size, right? So that is called initial size. And if you see for log file, you don't see any file group concept. It is clearly showing not applicable. For log files, there is no file group concept. That's why if you see the diagram, in the database, I separated file groups and separated log files. And in the file group, I just added data files. Okay? Clear, guys? Are we good? So how many types of files are there? Mainly two types of files. One is data file, second one is log file. If you go inside the data files, again two types. One is MDF, second one is NDF. Both are data files only. Okay. So how many MDF files will be created for the first time? For database, how many MDF file will be created?
One.
Guys, only one MDF file will be created. The subsequent files will be NDF files only. Okay. So we can create only one MDF file, or the database will create only one MDF file per database. Other data files should be NDF files only. Other data files should be NDF files only. So this is how it is going to organize the things. Okay. So NDF files like that it is going to manage. So each file will have a size. So that is called initial size 8 MB. Now you can see here initial size which is showing 8 MB. So in this 8 MB, it will organize 8 KB, 8 KB, 8 KB and extend, right? 64 KB, 64 KB, 64 KB like that. It is going to organize and it is going to give. Now 8 MB is very small. Now that 8 MB is full, completely full. Doris, this is your point. Now that 8 MB is full completely.
Yes, sir.
In that scenario, SQL Server, there is a mechanism called auto growth. Auto growth. So when you enable auto growth, you can see here auto growth option, max size option by 64 MB unlimited. If you click on this browse button, you can see enable auto growth. If you don't enable auto growth is showing none, means it can use only this 8 MB. It cannot grow more than 8 MB. Once the 8 MB is full, the user will get an error like the data file is full. Are you getting the point, guys?
Yes.
Initially, if you give 8 MB, or imagine I can give 1 GB also here. I can simply give 1 GB also, 1024. But if 1024 is completely full, and if you don't enable auto growth, that's it. User will keep getting the errors. Okay, the 1024, whatever size is there, the data file is full. But if you are giving auto growth, if you are enabling the auto growth, hey, I'm enabling the auto growth. So how you are going to enable? In percentage, I'll give, okay, 50%. Okay, what it means? What it means? If my 1024 MB is full completely, automatically
500 MB will
increase,
be increased.
yeah, increase 50% of 1024. How much? 512 MB
512.
added. 512 MB will be added to this data file. Shanmukh, from where it will be added? In which drive you are creating these files? From the drive, 500 MB will be added to this file. If that 500 MB also full, total 1.5 GB now, again 50%, 700 change MB will be added, 750 MB will be added. So the new file size will be 1.5 plus 750, 2.2 GB. Now the 2.2 is also completely full. Okay, again 50% of 2.2, which will be 1.1 GB will be added. So now the file size is 3.3.
0.5.
So like that, it will keep on growing till what point? In which drive the file is created? In this drive,
Size.
how much free space is there in this drive? Okay, till that point, it is going to grow, guys. Okay, till that point. So I was creating the files in C drive, right? In C drive, how much free space is there? 7.64 GB. So it will automatically grow up to 7.64 GB. Once that 7.64 GB is also full, you know, right? The drive is full. Then what Windows team will do? They are going to add some storage to this drive. They will add 100 GB. If that is also full, they will add one more 100 GB. Like that, they will add till 2 terabytes. If the whole drive is full where they cannot expand, they will create one more drive here, and we can add one more data file in the new drive. And again, it can grow. Like that, the storage will be organized, guys. Stories, I hope it was cleared.
Yes, yes, it's a lot better now, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, Shanmukh, if anyone raise any ticket that we are getting an error, then so as a DBA, we need to check and we need to modify
Correct,
this. Right?
correct. Not this, no need to modify. You cannot modify here, okay? So automatically it will be enabled. Will follow some values in the organization. So if anyone is complaining, or we will set up the alerts. No one generally is going to complain, but there are some scenarios they can complain where we ignore the alerts. So we'll set up an alert. So drive level alerts will be there. If there is less than 10% of the free space in my drive, the DBA, the Windows team will immediately get an email. Okay, this is what we'll do regularly in the organization. When you log into the shift, you can see in which server, what and all drives are getting full. Okay, so we have to manage the things. If the drives are completely full, what we can do? We have to request Windows team, or there is an option called shrink option. Shrink. You have to shrink the files. If you shrink the files, it will release some unused space to the drive. This will be discussed in the next, not next class, like further discussions will be there on this, because regularly we'll do shrink operations in the organization. So when you log into the shift, there are some auto alerts you can see in your email, you can see in the Outlook, so and so server D drive is full, E drive is full, so please take care. So I'll tell you, in case if it is data drive, what kind of measures we have to take. If it is log drive, what kind of measures we have to take will be discussed in the further classes, guys. Okay, clear, Hema? So we'll set up an alerts, okay? That alerts will keep triggering us until there is a free space in the drive, okay? So if there is no free space, it will keep triggering, okay? So once we got the alert, the DBA, those who are there in the shift, he has to fix the disk space issue. Regularly, we'll do this task in the organization. So we'll explain this task at the end of the course, some common task, what we will do regularly. So we'll explain at the end of the course, guys. Clear? Now, everyone, are we good, guys?
Yes.
Right. Okay, fine. Okay, so this is called auto growth option, guys. So you can enable you should be enable auto growth. Either you can enable in terms of percentages, or you can, sometimes people will enable 1024. Every time, if 1024 is full, every time it will add 1024, 1 GB. If 1 GB is full, every time it will add 1 GB. Here it is percentage. If you give percentage, based on the percentage, it will add. Here it is in megabytes, means every time it will add some value, you will give, right? Some value will give. So every time it will keep adding. So if 1 GB is full, 1 GB, another second time it will add 1 GB. Now the total file size is 2 GB. Now second time 2 GB is also full. How much it will add, guys?
1 GB more.
1 GB. Every time 1 GB only it will add. If you go for percentage, the value will be changed. If you go for megabytes, the value is fixed. Okay, every time it will add 1 GB, 1 GB. Mostly people will follow 1 GB concept in the organization. Okay, right. So it can grow, grow, grow. So can we limit that? If you want, you can limit that, but limiting the files is not a good option. So you have to keep it as unlimited only. Okay, guys. Are we good now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give only 8 MB, right? So these
No,
files
limited to 100 MB means it will take up to the maximum database size.
Correct, correct. That's it. Only up to 100 MB it will grow. Then after that it don't grow until you
Database size only.
until you disable the option. It don't grow.
Database size.
Correct. Database size only. That
Okay.
particular file size, whatever file is there, that file size.
Okay.
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 Right. So now, guys, in which drive you are creating? I told you, right, path. So as it is going to create 2 files, these 2 files has to be stored in one drive, right, physically. So can we keep the files in different drives? Data file in one drive, log file in one drive. Is it possible, guys?
Yeah, we can.
Guess it. Guess it. Guess it. Guess it, guys. Can we create data files in data and log files, whatever it is? Can we create a files in different drives?
Yes.
Or it should
Yes,
be the same drive?
Yes.
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 Yes, the answer is yes, guys. You can create. Data file can be in D drive, log file can be E drive. In the organization, this is how we'll organize. We don't keep all the drives in one place. Why? Because of any other file, if the drive is full, it is going to affect other databases. So for safe side, and even we have read and write operations on the disk also very important. If you organize the things in multiple drives, the processing will be faster. The performance will be good while reading and writing the data. So that's why we'll allocate one drive to each file. Data file will be stored in D drive. Log files will be stored in L drive. Backup files will be stored in some X drive. TempDB files will be stored in some T drive. So like that, they are going to create multiple drives and they are going to manage the things. They are going to organize the things in different drives. If you want to change the path, you can just click on browse option. You can give which drive you want. You can select the drive from here, from the drive letter, and you can give the path, guys. This is how you can change. As of now, we have only C drive, so I'm selecting only C drive. I'm not going to change the path. Okay, guys, are we good? These are all the options. Okay, forget about all these things. Will be discussed slowly. If you go to options, we can see some of the options. So forget about all these things. And I told you, right, file group. By default, it will create a primary file group. By default, it will create a primary file group. If you want, I can add primary file group. One more file group I can add. Only one primary file group will be there. Okay. So if you want, I can add a second file group, third file group like this using this concept. I can add, guys. Add file group concept. I can add it. So if you go to general page, I can add data files, extra data files. If you want, I can add it here. So
one question.
Yes.
You said that magic number 32767. So for database files, it will include MDF also within that?
No, only one MDF. All other files will be NDF files only. Now you can see while creating the while creating the database, I'm getting this file, right? This is the data file, right? Okay. This is the data file and this is log file, right? This is data file, this is log file, right or not, Prashant?
Yes, yes.
This data file is MDF file. Only one MDF you will get it while creating the database. Now, if this MDF is not sufficient for you, you will add another data file. The subsequent data files should be NDF files only. Again, you cannot add MDF.
No,
MDF
that is clear.
will exist one per data. Yeah, tell me now.
Means additional 32767 we can add. You are saying, no?
No. It will support 32,767 files. Additional
Total.
you can add. Yeah, total. Additional you can add how many files? If you have 2 files now, additional you can add how many files?
32765.
That's it.
Yes, total it can accommodate that.
Correct.
That I was asking. So it is excluding MDF or not with the NDF?
So yeah, total. It will support
including, yes.
767. Yeah.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
Yes.
Done. Okay, but data files in the organization will have multiple data files. Log file is only one. We don't add multiple log files. We can still add it, but we don't add it. The recommended practice is only one log file per database. But data files, multiple data files will be there in different drives. They are going to be organized. Okay. So before clicking OK, I'll script out this. I'll show you how to script out any action. So I'm trying to create the database, right? I told you, right? When I click OK, it will create a query and that query will run to create the database, right? So what is that query? I'll show you. Just click on the script option. It will create a script for the create database option. Okay, let me show you the script. Okay, then I'll create the database. It was created. Okay, you can see here succeeded. So you can click OK, guys. Now I'm creating the database. Okay, done. Now the database is created. Right. Now if we see here, see Shopify database, I can see here. But what is the script to create the database? See the script. I told you, right? You don't understand GUI. It will generate every activity, every action into script. See, this is the script to create the whole database. So can you remember this much script to create the database?
No.
No.
See how much big it is. Total how many lines? Can anyone tell me quickly? Quickly.
83.
Okay, so if you select the last option, you can see how many lines are there. Okay, so total 83 lines of script you have to remember. So generally we don't remember that. That's why we'll go for a GUI. Who can remember 83 lines of script, man? If we can remember 83 lines of script, why I'll go for a DBA, I'll go for development only. Developer as a developer only, I'll try, right? So no need to remember all these things. We can right click, new database, give the name. I'll create a new database. Till now, I just explained all these things, right? For this, I don't explain. Now tell me any application name, guys.
Amazon.
Amazon.
Flipkart.
Okay. Amazon, Flipkart. Okay, that's it. I gave the name. Now everything we discussed, right? Click OK. How simply we can create the database. Source University, Lalita. Okay, so how simply? Just give the name of the database. That's it. Done. Click OK. This is how we'll create the databases in the organization. Okay, why? Because all the values will be default. By default, it will be there. So in case if we want to change, maybe we'll change the path of the files. That's it. We'll give the name. We'll change. Okay, data files I want to store in E drive. Give the E drive path. Log files I'll store in L drive. Give the L drive path here. That's it. Remaining everything, no need to change. We'll change the path. So now, I told you, right, it will create two files physically. Let me see. Let me check where it was created. Let's go and check, guys. This PC, C drive, program files, Microsoft SQL Server, SQL Server default instance, right? MS SQL and the data folder. Okay, so if you see here, Amazon data file, Amazon log file. This is a physical file structure. Physically, you can see like this. Shopify data file, Shopify log file. Dinesh, please be muted. Shopify data file, Shopify log file. So now the size is 8 MB, sorry. 8 MB, right? So this will keep increasing. So in which drive it was created? C drive. Okay, if you see here, in which drive it was created? C drive. So if you are inserting the data, the file will grow. This file will grow. It will become 8 GB, 80 GB, 800 GB. So like that, until there is a free space in the C drive, it will grow. Imagine if I have 2 terabytes in my C drive, so it will grow up to the 2 terabytes. If the 2 terabytes is completely full, then again we have to create. Depends. There are different ways of troubleshooting. If the drive is full, if it is data file, we have to go for separate data file, new data file. If it is a log file, we have to string the log file. Why? Because log files will full very quickly. I'll tell you how the log file will be organized in the next class. Okay, so this is how we can create the database, guys. This is how the physical files will be existed. In these physical files, you cannot open, guys. When you are trying to open this, the database will be corrupted. Never ever open the files physically. The database will be corrupted. So Shanmukh, show me extents. I cannot show you like this. Up to this level, you can see with your naked eyes. Okay, you cannot see extents and pages with your naked eyes. Physically, you cannot see. Logically, you can see. There are some queries, DBCC loginfo. Using the DBCC loginfo, you can see the extents. DBCC page. Using that page command, you can see the page also, but you cannot see physically. Logically, you can see. Okay, clear, guys, the physical files. So this is how, so can we create, so now tell me the query to create the database without writing all these 83 lines of code. Do we have any query to create the database? If I have query where I have to run, right click, new query. Okay. Now
create database name.
That's it. Create data. What you are trying to create? I am trying to create a database. Chalo, very good. Create database. Chalo, tell me the name by I'm going to create for you. Okay, like that it is asking Flipkart. So can I execute a command? So I have 83 lines of query guys, script. So can I skip all these 83 lines of script to create the database?
This will take the default ones.
Can we create a database using 3 simple words?
Yes. Yes.
But what about all these parameters? Where it is going to store the data files, sizes, initial sizes, auto growth, path, where it is going to be stored?
They are default.
By default, it will fetch the data.
Very good. Very good. Okay. We can execute. So we'll check whether this query is right or wrong using parts button. Yes. Command executed successfully. So this is right only. Now execute the command. Okay. So done. Command completed successfully. Where I can see my database, Flipkart. I cannot see my database.
You refresh it.
Have to refresh the other.
Refresh it.
Very good. So you can see the Flipkart database now. So Shanmukh, you said 83 lines. You have to remember, right, to create the database, but you simply created the database with 3 words, right? What is the difference between these two? Both are same. Both are same. Remember one thing. When you execute any query, don't think that SQL Server will blindly execute that query. It will have some default parameters that will be added by the SQL Server while executing the query. So whatever things are there, all the values are default values only, right? I didn't change anything, right? So if you are good to create a database in the default location with the default file sizes, chalo, I am going to add it for you. You don't add it like that. It is going to add it. The SQL Server database engine will think and it will add the default values, default parameters. Values you can say, you can call it as a parameters in the organization. Technically, it's a parameters. So the default values, the default parameters will be added by the SQL Server database engine and it will create a database for you. And if you go and check again, you can see same Flipkart data file and Flipkart log file in the C drive. Clear, guys? Are we good?
Yes.
Any questions till now? Questions?
No, sir.
Chalo, guys. Okay. So I'm going to stop the session for now. In the evening, we'll discuss log file architecture and we'll create the tables in the evening. Okay. So again, guys, as I said, I have to let me stop recording.